leave no trace, leave no body, leave no corpse. In 1 billion years, when the aliens come and visit, leave no evidence there was ever a human race. In 10,000 years, when the archaeologists and anthropologists are digging, leave no remnants, no relics, no clues to human civilization or history. In 10 years, when the forensic scientists are trying to solve a string of related murders, leave no body to put their mystery to rest. The human population is at about 7 billion. That number is expected to double. I believe that's in about 20 years, something like that. The estimates always change, at any rate. I have heard many good reasons, many good arguments rationalizing why it is that we need to be composting human bodies. I find this fascinating and disturbing. Now, part of me, the Gothic part of me, thinks it's very metal to do that. But I'm a contrarian at nature, and it disturbs me because I'm afraid this actually might catch on. I don't want this to become mainstream. A deviation over time becomes the norm. The norm over time becomes the rule. That means that eventually society will not only embrace it, but require it. And the idea that you would ever bury your own will be considered obscene or barbaric, and it would just not be done. Now, there are many people who are religious or just spiritual who think that they still need their bodies, and that perhaps they can be resurrected from those bodies. There are also those that think that when you visit a graveyard and you talk to your friends or family or even strangers, that perhaps there is a spirit floating over their remains that might be able to move your heart, perhaps move you to the right direction, perhaps answer some questions that you couldn't answer on your own. But we are a secular people, so I have no doubt in my mind that our detachment from human life is going to lead to this catching on. I've also noticed a trend where among, I don't know what you call them, but basically people like Greenpeace, the people that support PETA, they look at humanity as a plague, as a disease, and they put all other life over human life. And so seeing this embraced by them, I find it scary. So I don't want it to be embraced. I want it to be permitted, but not embraced. Part of the reason for this, by the way, is that it means that once it becomes the norm, you're going to see cemeteries dug up, history removed, destroyed in the process. And that means it's so much easier to forget because we have less of an attachment to the past. And that encourages living in the now, which makes us more manipulatable. There's also an element of greed because, of course, there are those who want the properties on which the cemeteries and mausoleums sit. So I'm very skeptical of this. So what I would say is permit it, just like you'd permit turning your body into dust through cremation. Permit it just like you would permit making your body into diamonds. But don't let this become the norm. Fight it. Please fight it. The Gothic part of me still longs to visit cemeteries. I actually haven't visited a cemetery since I was in Galveston, which they have quite a few cemeteries there, and I think it's beautiful. But I haven't had the chance where I am. But I would like to in my lifetime. So don't let this become the norm. Don't let our legacy of dead bodies be erased. That is all.